sausage.
To cook a sausage, the last sausage.
Wait. Stop video. To cook a sausage.
The last sausage.
sound? Bit noisy?
No, it's okay. Up here it'll be fine.
Okay, what's the street theatre program been like at Lift?
Well, for me, it's been a real learning experience. I've discovered that there are a great variety of street theaters, from the performance which takes place on the street to something which actually looks like the street beginning to perform. And we've had the whole gamut here. Complicité, Théâtre de la Complicité, is a group which makes the street perform. I mean, you saw how they work today. One will appear, then another, then another, and another, and then that will develop into a show. I've seen them about 4 times now. They begin that way, they go into their show, but from performance to performance, I've seen a development take place. They were refined and focused.
You take that from the top, theatre complicité, because
Théâtre de la Complicité is more or less like the last kind, the street beginning to perform. They, as you saw today, they start, one member of the company will get into the crowd and start doing something that'll attract attention, and then a second, and then a third, and then a fourth, and then they'll increase their antics until it becomes a show. And I've seen over the course of the 4 performances that I've seen, that show develop and refine, and it's very interesting. It's also very interesting to see the difficulty of this kind of street theater and how these performers deal with it, which is, as far as I'm concerned, scientifically expert. The way because everything that happens is an obstacle, and everything that happens is something that they have to contend with. You know, from little kids to dogs to cameramen to too many people to too few people, and it's very exciting. Their background, I guess, prepares them for something like that. I spoke with them, and they told me that 3 of them at least, have all worked in Paris with in a school called Le Coq School, and they study tragedy, comedy, clowning, buffoonery, mime. Some of them look as if they've studied dance as well, and that allows them to really create situations and play to them. I can see tragic things going on. I can see them responding to tragic things, comic things as well. And then when the buffoonery comes in, you're surprised, and then you're waiting for it to come in the next time. So it's a really, really exciting performance.
Is it spontaneous?
A lot of it is. A lot of it is. They have a text, more or less. You know, they know, like the business on the boat where they start to cook the sausage, which is a takeoff, by the way, on another performance. I mean, Zippo's performance. But the beginning, when Simon goes out and starts gathering a crowd, that's spontaneous. I mean, he may have some idea, but the business with the cup there on the terrace and dealing with kids that run by, I mean, you can see their imaginations working. They have to be awake all the time. There's also something very interesting about their performance and their energy as performers that I've noticed, and that is that you can see them slow down sometimes. You may have noticed that there are times where they begin to lose the complete attention of the audience, and instead of working harder to get it, they just stop. They freeze, and they just kind of look around really slowly. Everything goes in, and then the audience, it's like suddenly someone begins to whisper on stage, and the audience is on the edge of their chair. And they can manage to do that in the street, and I find that amazing. And even when they're moving, I can see that kind of stillness in their movement. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. It's very exciting street theater.
Thank you. Good. Nice. Okay.
How would you classify your performance today?
Classify it.
What sort of work is it?
Absolute nonsense.
Spontaneous and all.
Oh, yeah, it's nonsense. It's raining. We're going to rain now.
How are they coming?
I don't know. They came out my pocket. They came out my pocket.
All over the place. Are they still in there?
A lot of, yes, a lot of improvisation. I guess, a lot of making it up on the spot. Don't really classify it at all. Lots of clowning around, I suppose. Idiocy. But being able to, reacting to the situation. Main thing is try and make people look at things in a different way, I guess. Something like that.
So your show's always different every location?
It's always different, yeah. Very much so.
You block it in?
No, we don't even do that. We arrive, we know that we're with the whole part which is improvised, and then we know that we're actually going to cook a sausage. Really amazingly interesting thing to do in the street. And then everything else, we just have to see what comes along. Sometimes the police comes along, sometimes something else happens, but we have to, main thing is to be able to contact each other. Be able to go, oh right, I know where he is, he's there, you know.
So when you move in, you don't actually know to start with where the other person will be? They
Not
find
at all,
their own
no,
place.
no.
And it builds up very slowly, doesn't it?
That's right, real slowly, otherwise, because, I mean, if you come in saying, be a clown, everybody's so happy, everybody goes, shoots off, and you haven't got anybody. People, I haven't, what brush?
That thing.
What thing? This thing. What did you say?
What's I saying?
So you don't know how it's going to begin?
Yeah.
No, we don't know how it's going to begin.
At what point does it actually become, do you think people realise it's a performance, that it's street theatre? Because for a long time they're intrigued because they think
absolutely mad,
they're in
yes.
that pocket, aren't they?
Yes,
And that's
they're
what
in that
hooks
pocket.
them.
That's right. I think so. I think they think, who is this guy? He's completely off his nut. What's exactly happening around here? And then for a while, like at Archway in the first 2 minutes, I got told to fuck off about 4 times, approximately 4 times. And in that case, sometimes you have to do, for example, you do a handstand or something like that, and people go, well, maybe he's not such an idiot. Or, like, there's one of us going around. It always starts with one of us. And then all of a sudden people go, God, there are 2 of them, you know, somebody else over there.
Robert, that's
They're in
enough.
there.
Robert, that's enough.
I didn't train you for this type of work.
And it's really generally when they see that it's 2 of us. And it's great if you're following somebody and there are 2 people behind them. Or if there are a couple of lovers or something like that. Because then immediately people begin to click on like that. And just, yeah, I suppose that's it.
Thank you.
I hope that's enough.
Anything else?
Lift?
Oh,
Yeah.
what about Lift? How do you feel? You still turning over?
Yes.
How do you feel about Lift as being part of the festival?
Nice. It's a nice festival.
What's nice about it?
Well, it's hang on a sec. Wait a minute. I've got an answer coming up. Well, I've done it before, and it's good. It's relaxed. It's nice and relaxed. It's not too many people, but people. I don't know. Actually, it's given us a good excuse to do things that we wouldn't be able to do, like perform in Upper Street in Islington, perform in venues that we wouldn't have been able to perform in. So that's nice, because you've got a couple of people who are standing there with badges going, right, okay, we'll keep off the police while you jump on buses and so on. But it's I don't know. It's good. Nice people. On the whole,
What do you
nice
think of
people.
the idea of street performances being part of? What do you think of the idea of street performances being part of a festival, of an international
Good.
festival?
Good idea. Good idea. It's just I think that everybody should get out and every show should go on the street at some point.
Why?
I think it'd be great. I think you could have maybe a big procession or something like that. I don't know. It would be a lot of fun. It would get people used to, I don't know, the idea of doing two things. I don't know, but just because although it's nice, although it was good, it was, you know, you imagine that in Clapham Junction, for example, you've got in Clapham Junction you've got one show at one point and then another show at another point. But it's a bit kind of a little
Isolated.
like that, and then another little, you know, and people go, the other day there's something really odd going on in Clapham Junction, and then like a week later. And I actually, because when we were there, I don't think people made a connection between, for example, the Spanish people and us. Mind you, we stood in Burton tailoring and posed as tailors' dummies.
You'd like to see the whole thing just sort of accumulate and accumulate and accumulate until it...
Bene, questo giudice ce l'aveva con te. Ce l'aveva con te a morte. Era incazzato come un lupo, gridava come un'aquila, sai? E gridava contro di te. Eravamo in mezzo alla strada. Lui gridava come un matto. E io niente, io zitto, e lo lasciavo gridare. Ed eravamo per strada.
Hai fatto bene, Gianni.
Ho fatto bene?
Sì. Perché la saggezza grida sempre in mezzo alla strada.
La saggezza.
E nessuno la sta a sentire.
Saggezza grida. Che cos'è la Bibbia?
È la Bibbia, Gianni.
E citi la Bibbia così tu. Hai una cultura mostruosa, Ricco. E per quello che mi piace stare con te, sai. Ricco, però potevi prendermi anche una taglia di più, perché cavolo, non ci andiamo. Sai che il grasso un giorno o l'altro mi uscirà da tutte le parti e mi farà le...
Vedo che ti stai riscattando. Dalla preghiera a rubar borsa, eh?
Sai, ho scoperto una cosa, ho scoperto che se uno non vuole commettere peccato deve imparare a rispettare la propria natura. Rico, quando sarai re ti tradirò.
Al suo pensiero tremo tutto, te lo convinco io.
E scusa le orecchie,
Ma ci sta.
ma che bellezza è questo? Un re non sa fare
È una combina. Mettiamo in mezzo il giorno. Come? Allora facciamo fare a lui, quindi un po' di tempo vediamo. Se non ci pilota più me l'hai piegato io no. Allora, immagina un po' le palle che mi ha come questo. Un pezzo di spalla, vedi? D'accordo, vai. Faccio altro che studiarvi come una lingua straniera e per padroneggiarla meglio devo ricercare e imparare anche le più basse oscenità. Peccherò al punto di fare del
Scappiamo presto. Scappiamo. Sempre che la moto parte. Che cazzo lo fai? Bicicletto. No, non è possibile. E uno per 20 anni continui a mettersi in situazioni di questo genere solo per far divertire 4 amici. Eh no, se io si ricasco sono un imbecille. Io sono un idiota con la patente, sono. Se si ricasco con la patente e la moto che non parli, ti hanno stampato qualcosa, ti hanno fatto qualcosa. Lo so. Ma non si può. Non si può a 40 anni continuare a cacciarsi in situazioni di questo genere. E se io continuo a farlo, vuol dire che ci ho la vocazione. O che pure devo aver subito un incantesimo, aver mangiato una mela di Biancaneve o qualche altra cosa del genere.